Hello, friends. It's Carly Wharton, and welcome back to Owning Authenticity. In this video, we are covering one of my all-time favorite terms that I have learned along my wellness journey, and that is selfish giver. Selfish giver. It is absolutely divine in the impact that this term has had on my mindset around self-care. And I think one of the prevailing mantras of people who don't do self-care is that they don't have time, that they feel selfish when they take time to only work on themselves. And so they just don't do it. And I was probably in that category of giving everything I had to my job and just working myself to death and giving and giving and giving and giving. And in the course of working at the software company for 5.5 years, I had multiple bouts of burnout slash depression where I was just broken down, emotional, exhausted, couldn't work anymore because I had given everything and my gas tank was now empty. And that's a problem because my job doesn't stop just because my gas tank is empty. And now what do? I mean, when your gas tank is empty and you're stranded, when you're to the point where you can't function or you attract an illness because you keep yourself stressed for so long, that stress in our body, it eats away and it attracts things that make it even harder to feel good. And that's what I was doing for a really long time, was keeping myself in that state of giving and giving and giving to everything outside of myself because I wanted to be of service. I wanted to make an impact in this world. I wanted to create value for other people. And I was so focused externally on my goals and what I wanted to do. And meanwhile, I'm falling apart. And it only took a few cycles of that. You would think one would be enough, but I got it eventually that, if my car runs out of gas and now I'm stuck alongside the road, like I'm not going anywhere and I'm not doing anything. So if I want to make a long, consistent, far reaching impact in this world, I need to have as much uptime as possible. I need to avoid burning out and having to go hibernate for months on end. Not that that's a bad thing if that's where we are and that's what we need to do. Sometimes that is the healing that's required. I've been there many times. And it's just a bit complicated to actually hibernate from your life. Employers don't typically understand, this whole hibernation concept got a lot easier when I was no longer working a typical 9 to 5. When I was working, I mean, you power through it and it basically is just ongoing. It's an ongoing state of hovering just above burnout. That's where I lived my life for a really, really long time until it finally clicked on a deeper level that I can't do anything for anybody else if I can't take care of myself. And the saying, you can't pour from an empty cup. Fill your cup first. And once your cup is so full that it's overflowing, I like to share my overflow and I give that overflowing energy to everyone that I come into contact with all day long. Meanwhile, my cup is full. And every day I invest more in filling my cup. And again, it begins overflowing before you know it. And so you take the overflow and give it away. And what I was doing before was giving away what was in my cup to the point that my cup is emptier and emptier and emptier and emptier until it's bone dry. And then I got nothing. I have nothing to give. So this idea of selfish giver lets us off the hook for feeling selfish at all about our self-care, because literally, if we don't care for our own well-being, we have nothing to give to anyone else. If our cup is bone dry, we have nothing to give to anyone else. And I know we've all been in that moment where we snap at someone that we didn't mean to, or we make harmful decisions towards ourselves that we didn't mean to, or we cope with stress in unhealthy ways. all of these things just because we won't carve out the time for ourselves. So selfish giver flips all of that on its head and says the key ingredient to serving other people is a healthy me. We matter. That the key ingredient for giving anything to anyone is that you first have something to give. And if we don't treat ourselves as a valuable resource in that process, we get dropped to the bottom of the priority list over and over and over again until you kill the resource. You have nothing to give to anyone. And, I was very lucky that when I went through my cycles of burnout, it was my job, and my boss was cool. And she worked with me and we carved out some time for me to go and to rejuvenate, AKA get my shit together, because I had neglected myself, my emotional wellness, to the point where I was bawling in a conference room at work to her about how I can't do this anymore. I can't work like this anymore. And that was the truth. And that was a turning point in, like, I did that to myself. I put myself through that and I didn't prioritize care for me along the way at all. I just expected that I'm going to give out of this cup and the cup will always have something in it. And I operated like that for years before I figured out the cup only had stuff in it because sometimes I put stuff in there. And really connecting the dots to like how full slash overflowing is my cup compared to how often and how much energy am I investing into my cup on purpose. And about 5.5 years ago, I committed to investing in my cup every morning for the rest of my life. Morning, night, you're not going to find me saying there's a right time of day to do self-care. I think the time of day that it makes the most sense to do it is the time of day when you will do it. So if you're doing it, then it's the right time of day and you can celebrate and rest easy knowing that you've cracked your own code, because that's just it. Each of us are going to have our very own recipe on what self-care looks like for us. But the act of taking self-care, the act of investing energy into your own cup on a regular basis, be that every day, a few times a week, whatever you can carve out for yourself, but prioritizing your wellness as a key ingredient to the impact and the value that you're able to have in other people's lives. For me, I chased that external impact for so long while missing the whole point of this body, this body and this brain have to carry me through the act of making that impact. And if I trash my body to the point where it doesn't want to serve me anymore, it's now standing in my way, that's that much less of soul impact that I can make. So treating myself as an important piece of the equation, it definitely took more than just deciding to do that. I found for me personally, it meant digging into my sense of worthiness. Like, did I believe that I really deserved self-care on a regular basis? Did I believe that I really deserved a happy life that felt good on a daily basis? Um, and early on, the answer was no, because I didn't like myself that much and I sought therapy. I found the deservability treatment, link in the description box. I have so much content on the deservability treatment. I'm very passionate about daily affirmations as a means of building up your sense of believing that you deserve to feel good, you deserve to be well taken care of, you deserve to have an overflowing cup that you get to enjoy the fullness of, and that you generate so much extra to give to the people around you. Um, you deserve all of that. And if your deservability is what feels like it's holding you back, your sense of worthiness of not believing that you deserve it, uh, check out the deservability treatment. And even if you do have a decent sense of worthiness, I would encourage you to read it anyway, because it it really does like take it to the next level of, do you believe that you deserve and can live the life of your dreams? And if you're not all the way there, I think the deservability treatment is a huge step forward in like a practical step, something that you can consciously do every single day and move yourself towards living a life that feels good to you while creating as much positive impact for the people around you as you possibly can. Optimizing that equation means making yourself a priority. And it is it's it's a sacrifice that is worth its weight in gold. The payoff of doing this, not only has my capacity increased to help other people and to create positive effects in the lives of others, but my life now on a daily basis is enjoyable to me. I enjoy living inside my life. And 5 years ago, I could not even begin to say that. It wasn't even a little bit like that. It was very miserable to be me. And I am so grateful for all of the teachers and all of the resources that I have picked up one step at a time and integrated into my self-care practice. It really does become a lifestyle, a journey of how can I feel a little bit better and a little bit better and a little bit better. And I truly believe there's no top end to the spectrum of how good we can feel and how big of a positive impact we can make when we feel as good as we're supposed to feel. So that's my theory, and my life is basically a living experiment to see how much of that comes true. Selfish giver, investing in our own cup and giving away the excess. That's one that you can take to the bank. So I hope you enjoyed this content. If you did, please like, comment, and subscribe so that you get notified every day of all of my new videos. And until next time, dear friends, you take good care of yourselves, and so will I.